Hello?
Welcome. There has been a change of plans to this evening's final viewing of the abandoned Fran 8K camera. Due to an infiltration into our system, we are heading to an undisclosed location far from the peering eyes of those who wish to take us down. You have been given special access to tonight's event and are required to sign NDAs and super chat us $10 for our Monster Energy drink budget. It's getting a bit tight. Be advised that getting to this undisclosed location is a perilous journey through some dark and twisted copyrighted places. We are carefully monitoring your vital signs and watching your every move as we get close to this event. Proceed carefully and at your own risk. Please stand by as we link you in with the live feed. From safe in a bunker in an undisclosed location, please welcome the legend, the myth, the cameraman himself, Frame Voyager. Good God, what an ego.
Oh, my mic is not on. Welcome! My mic is now on. Welcome to our underground base where we are currently awaiting the results from YouTube and their strike on my video. More specifically, Alejandro Martin and the strike on the Fran 8K abandoned camera. So, what's exactly going on with that? Some of you might be asking. And why are we doing this live stream about the abandoned Fran 8K? Well, so about, 5 days ago, I got this email from Alejandro Martin saying that I needed to interview him or I needed to delete the video. And because I did not respond fast enough to him, I guess within like 24 hours, 48 hours, however long I was traveling, he decided to go ahead and move forward with a video takedown, which I couldn't do, and puts a lot of pressure on the actual uploader like me. So we got an email from YouTube. From that email, we had 7 days. We could take it down, avoid a copyright strike. But we actually have to wait if we want to counter it and keep the video up from being taken down. We have to wait till we get a strike, a copyright strike on our channel, and then we can counter it, and hopefully that'll clear it up for us. But there's still the outside possibility that YouTube still has to actually review the claim in the first place. So I get notified about it. It's happening, I guess, later tonight. The video is about to be taken down, hoping we can still watch it. We're actually going to be watching that video for the last time here. Hopefully it's not the last time. We'll be doing some question and answers as well about this whole thing. So I hope you guys are ready for that. And, you know, before we get too far into this, we actually have a special guest here, and I'm going to actually bring him. We have none other than the man himself, Alejandro Martin, who has agreed to do an interview on this live stream. It's freaking amazing. I don't know if you guys have been following this. So here's Alejandro Martin. Welcome to the show, Alejandro. Welcome to the show, Alejandro. Hey, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Let me text him real quick. Let me text him real quick. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, he says he's having problems with his Fran 8K camera.
He's having problems with his Fran 8K
camera. We might not be able to talk to him tonight. And just so for legal status, that was actually a joke. Alejandro Martin did not agree to do an interview with us. He would really like to do an interview with us, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. So we've got all these emails. We've tried to. Is there a mic double? That sucks. Okay, let me go to this and see if there's a, how about now? Is there mic double now? Before we get too far into this. Oh my gosh. Well, let's check. Okay, I think I got rid of the mic double. All right. Am I still? It's gone. Good. Dang it, the double audio for the joke. Dang it. Oh, a little bit longer. I wish I could. Oh, it was during the call. It's because I opened. Oh, it's because it was feeding back within my thing. That's funny. Okay, I know what it did. Sorry, that was the joke. I hope you guys enjoyed the joke, even though that was ruined by the double audio. Anyways, let's continue on. So we've talked to Alejandro. We're going to go through this in our follow-up video. We actually have done an interview with Philip Bloom to get a little bit more information on this. We're going to do a follow-up video to this that's either going to be the replacement for this one or not. So we're going to figure that out here. I think it's going to be a little interesting to see what happens, but we're hoping to be able to keep up the original Fran 8K video, which we'll be watching here in a second. Based on like its basic copyright rules, it's complete transitional material. We believe that the fair use is correct on it. We've talked with several different people. We thankfully in my Discord, shout out to Elwood and Chicken and all the others out there who were actually looking into a lot of this for me, and we're gonna go and push against it. So. With that being said, would you guys like to go ahead and, before we do some question and answers, would you guys like to go ahead and watch the original Fran 8K? Let me go ahead and pull that one up real quick. So here we go to the side. So this abandoned camera series has been awesome. I'm so glad that all of you who have liked to watch it. If you have any questions during this video, let me know. We'll get to them. So...
Some cameras have the benefit of a unique culture behind them and rich histories like Aten, Panavision, and Arri. And then there are some companies that completely boggle the mind. That was the case with City Martin's absolutely bizarre Fran 8K camera campaign, filled with questionable marketing techniques, social media wars with Philip Bloom, and a camera that never quite saw the light of day. But what happened to this strange camera that ran Windows 10? And was this camera abandoned, or was it simply a scam? Find out on today's Abandoned Camera series.
So I'll go ahead and comment on this. We're actually going to be commenting on this just a little bit because we're adding commentary on the commentary of this to protect this in fair use as well, in case this is the, I see some people saying copyright strike. So we're not going to because we're double commenting on this video, so we should be super safe. I hope you all like the intro for this abandoned camera series. I just went completely crazy with it. I like keeping these short and fun, but like I don't like putting long. I know a lot of people do a ton of intros and stuff, and I just like to keep them real short and fun for these. So that's kind of what we did with this.
Sidney Martin is a fascinating company as while you can find plenty of articles online about their demise and some of their products, it's a bit harder to find the actual history of Sidney Martin and the people involved in the company beyond its eccentric co-founder and developer manager Alejandro Martin, who, as they said on their website, was a software developer and had worked in the industry and won awards before eventually owning a taxi company and being a taxi driver in Barcelona, Spain. Beyond this, I did not find much else in his past career or the ties that connected him to making cinema gear before starting Sidney Martin. Also, much of their video footage and photos have been removed from the internet, with only some videos remaining on Facebook pages and other areas of the internet on YouTube, which we will take a look at later on. It seems that the company was started back in 2010 in Barcelona, as that's the first instance of a website that was captured on the way back machine that we could find. If you look at sidneymartin.com right now, it takes you to one of those spam pages that you often find on recently defunct websites. Throughout the years until they declared bankruptcy, they never explained on their website who they were, only saying in their About section that they were a team currently building affordable cine devices, and that they were a collective of video and cine enthusiasts and hardware and software developers. One of their first products was the Sidney Martin SFV, which they claimed was the world's first portable video computer. These were essentially compact field recorders that would work with the Sony F3 that was hitting the market around the same time. Though, through the years, they would become known as a small company that made relatively modestly priced camera accessories, a denoiser application, live streaming solutions, and a motorized slider. Think almost like a small HD or a company equivalent to that. Though they were accused at times of only repackaging some of their monitors from other distributors and selling them as their own products, which when it comes to some of these smaller companies that dabble in this space, it can actually be quite hard to tell where a lot of the products came from exactly and if they were actually developed by the company that's selling them. But for Sidney Martin, I didn't really come across any concrete evidence that they were doing this at this time, but with a little information, you just never know. But despite all this limited backstory on the company itself, no one could have predicted that they would try to develop and release their own camera. And on May 8th, 2018, when they announced that they were making this camera with a couple of prototype drawings.
Okay, sorry, since my audio was muted. I'm trying to do a bunch of different things here, so it's a little crazy with how we're having to play back this video so you guys actually get good quality. So I apologize. What I was trying to say is it's interesting to see some of their monitors and stuff that they did. They actually had a lot of early history with problems and with customers and people not getting them or getting refunds for them. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that in our upcoming video. So I'm not going to talk too much during this, so let's just go ahead and watch through it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions, and we'll get to those questions after this video. So just enjoy.
No one really thought that they'd actually ever get to see this camera in real life. But later on that year, Sidney Martin would launch the Fran 8K with video examples and more in what probably wins the award for the strangest product launch video ever made.
Hello, I'm Alessandro, and I'm going to introduce you in show Fran, a digital cinema programmable camera featuring an 8K 4/3 sensor with up to 7920 by 6024 native resolution
Many lambasted them for this video, with Matthew Allard from News Shooters saying, "The introduction video is nothing short of terrible and is hardly a glowing endorsement for the camera. From the bad audio to the horrible music choice, it's definitely not the right way to get customers interested in your product." Cindy Martin's marketing was strange indeed, also having somewhat of an ill-advised naming convention for their different camera models: the Fran LT, the Fran Plus, and lastly, the Fran STD. Yes, you heard that right.
Let me show you a few samples, and then let me introduce you the different models of the Fran family. Let's get started.
Despite receiving a lot of backlash for their announcement video and turning the comments off on YouTube for this, some in the community were willing to give them a shot, still noting how hard it is actually to develop a camera. And, you know, just because you make cameras, it doesn't automatically make you a professional cinematographer, so some surmised. So let's talk about the actual specifications for the Fran 8K. In the release, they announced that the camera would cost around $13,600, but if you pre-ordered with a 10% deposit, they did a special price of $9,000 for the camera, which, let's just say, I'm not sure that anyone who actually put a deposit down on this camera got their deposits back, as there was a lot of comments on their Facebook page demanding it back when all of this went south for Cindy Martin. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. This camera came with an 8K sensor that was said to be larger than full frame and larger than VistaVision. They claimed it was the world's largest commercially sold sensor, which was said to be a 37 by 27 millimeter sensor, which in total area was 999 millimeters. Though the Arri Alexa 65 has a sensor size of, 1384 millimeters. So, world's largest sensor? Though, as to the purpose of why the sensor needed to be so massive, it wasn't really explained in their marketing. It recorded 444 RAW in what I'm assuming is CDNG files or something equivalent to that, as they claim to be able to produce pure RAW files, Bayered RAW files, or de-Bayered RAW files, which, if they actually came out with any of this, I'm sure we would be seeing some sort of legal action from the lawsuit-hungry Red Digital Cinema legal team if this was internal recording. Also touted in this camera was dual native ISO, a global shutter, a 15.5 stops of dynamic range, solid-state drive recording options, and, as they say, pleasing skin tones was a feature they wanted to really note in their marketing. All in all, paired with the interesting intro video, it was a weirdly interesting camera coming from an unknown company.
Fran Plus, with a chassis made on fiber carbon and the ability for users to program the camera as for any particular needs.
Around this time, Cindy Martin would send out cameras to get reviewed by several different prominent industry news sites and, famously, Philip Bloom. But the Philip Bloom Cindy Martin drama comes later on in the story, so stick around for that. Cindy Martin would go on to release multiple videos showing off the specs of the camera and the footage, as well as continuing their fascinating marketing videos up against a white wall.
Hello, I will show you in this video how to power on Fran. Just to start, simply click the power on button. In a few seconds the screen will light, and now it will take less than half a minute to power on.
But only 4 months after they released this camera for pre-sale, Cindy Martin would release this statement on their Facebook page.
Let me show you how to create an amazing ad using stock footage. Go to artgrid.io. Look at all this great footage.
Whoops, ads.
Only with stock footage, with ArtGrid, is finally possible. There are no standalone clips. Every clip is part of a sequence, and I have
Bad news, we're about to close due to bankruptcy. Our tier mother company left us with no other option. End of Cindy Martin probably by April 1st, the joke day, but our end is a filmmaking company. Thank you for all your efforts and gratitude. Soon we will be making a public announcement. They would go on to make a bit of a memorial on their website as their final announcement, which gives the first brief history we actually see about Cindy Martin and about themselves and where they all were headed professionally after this. Again, mentioning at the top of the statement statement that their tier mother company left them no option but to close down. I think we can speculate a bit here and realize they probably had to get some outside funding to be able to develop a camera, which camera development is not cheap. So while we can't confirm this, more than likely they were able to secure funding for the Fran 8K outside of the company, but ran into some funding problems when it came time to manufacture the cameras, leading the company or person investing them to pull the plug. It's that or this whole thing was a complete scam, as you can still read through many comments on the Facebook page from people who never received other Cine Martin products they ordered and never got refunds. And in typical Cine Martin fashion, the goodbye letter on their website left us with a couple more quirky statements like this one. The company would close soon after, but that's not the end of the story. The day after Cine Martin released their closing statement on Facebook, Philip Bloom posted this infamous review of the Fran 8K.
Okay, so let's have a look at it. The packaging, this is obviously not what it comes in. It's ropey as be sending a camera like this in a Pelican case or something. And here's the main thing. This. Oh my God, it's a beast.
We've included the link to this video in the description below. Philip Bloom was not planning on releasing this video, opting instead to wait for Cine Martin to fix this camera up a bit before he did a real review on it. And that's mostly because he couldn't get the camera to function properly and film anything at all with it, due to a faulty cable, it would seem.
So apparently it's recording. This is the worst UI I've ever seen in my life.
In this video, we get our only real look at the camera beyond Cine Martin's marketing videos and photos. Interestingly enough, the camera was running Windows 10 as its operating system that you would control through an external monitor. And you could actually plug up a mouse to the camera.
So I'm just going to message the guy because this has got an error message on there. Can I connect a mouse?
And while this may seem like a weird choice to have installed on a camera, because it was still early in development, which they were about to ship out, so technically it really wasn't early in development, but typically in early development for cameras, it's not unusual for a camera to have an operating system like this until they fully develop the interface for it and finish testing and tweaking it. But it's still a funny sight to see in this video by Philip Bloom. Needless to say, he does not hold back in his critique of this camera and about the packaging they sent it in. After this video was released, the good people over at Cine Martin were not very happy with the video, posting their own comeback video on March 21st, 2019 called Fran 8K Cam Review by Philip Bloom, Cables Not Okay at All.
Hello guys, I'm Alejandro. I'm here with my workmate Manuel. Just received the camera back from Philip Bloom. Manuel, please connect the camera. Effectively, the cable is not working at all. It works, but it seems that the cable was a little bit fault. So, for me to show you that the camera is working, but again, the only issue was the cable, which I will show you in a few moments. Vale, what happened with Bloom? Probably he didn't connect very well the cables, but of course the cables are a little trouble. You see the camera has just been restarted. So effectively the cable was not in a correct, this is why Philip Bloom were not able to do this. We will make a new 2 cables and we'll try to send him back the camera again. Thank you for watching this video. Bye.
Philip Bloom replied to this video saying, "Sorry mate, but this is nonsense. What you have shown me is what I was able to do. I could not get an image as my video showed. My main issue was Windows kept crashing, but there were loads of other issues which I listed in the review." Through multiple comments, Alejandro Martin fired back at Philip Bloom saying, "I told you, but you didn't listen to me. The camera has 2 power ins, and if the power to the input fails, the sensor fails, then comes the error you got. Tomorrow I will show you on another video." Also responding to other commenters, Alejandro said that Bloom seems to have no interest in reviewing the camera again, and he only spent 20 minutes with me on the phone when he got a non-working unit. Philip Bloom responded quickly saying, "Okay, this is ridiculous. You made a video with my name in the title, showing me the Fran working, blaming the power cable, but nowhere in this video do you show anyone anything that I was not able to achieve in this video. Are you guys bankrupt or what? Because you're not acting like it right now. And I did listen to you after I returned the camera. I don't get what you're doing here. If you really want the camera to succeed, then stop posting nonsense like this video and stop lashing out at people's comments. The camera needs a huge amount of work. Come back when it's something that can be used on a professional production, it seems to me it is a couple years away, if not more. Several more comments from Alejandro seem to be more excuses as to why the camera didn't work, or that they didn't have enough of a budget for marketing for the camera to be successful. And there seemed to be at one point an agreement between Philip Bloom and Alejandro to do another camera review with a working camera, but that never materialized. We will mention just one final twist on this fascinating back and forth between this small company and an industry respected Philip Bloom. On Cindy Martin's Facebook page, they had also posted a link to this video, which Philip Bloom posted an interesting question in the comments about their status in bankruptcy, saying, "I held back immensely in my review in the hope that in time you could fix things with this camera. The tone of your posts and in the comments implies that the camera is in a closed to shipping state. That of course is a joke. The other big question, of course, why are you continuing this if your company is declaring bankruptcy? Isn't the Fran project an asset to go to the creditors? You're confusing a lot of people, but I do genuinely hope everything works out for you." This does raise an interesting question when it comes to the legitimacy of this company, as it's true if they were going through an actual bankruptcy or being sold off that most of the assets would have been seized. So were they taking a risk by continuing to use this camera well after they had technically shut down, as they continued to make some videos with the camera a little while after this? Or was it maybe pointing to something else, like it being a scam and that they weren't actually going bankrupt? Hard to tell, especially with not being able to find financial details about this company. But as Philip Bloom said in one of the comments, "What I see from this is your refusal to take any responsibility. You blame me for the camera not working, the same as you blame people who got non-functioning monitors. There's a strong pattern here, with a strong pattern toward blame and other strange behaviors from this company. And while no one can confirm this was a scam, Cindy Martin made it pretty easy for a lot of people to believe it was." So with all this drama and all this, you kind of have this camera in the middle of it. What happened to this camera? It's fairly obvious it was abandoned, or at least a complete scam in some sense. In all of our abandoned camera series, this camera probably got abandoned the fastest and likely does not exist in any sense at this point. Unless, of course, others at Cindy Martin or Alejandro Martin were able to hang on to this camera through bankruptcy, which would lead to some other interesting questions. At the end of the day, there is something to be said about marketing your product well and business professionalism. The fighting and comebacks against Philip Bloom by Cindy Martin, someone who many trust for camera reviews, was not what you want to see from a company making equipment you need to function right for your livelihood. When a company goes out of its way to excuse and put blame and post videos about a potential customer for not being able to use their product, it's a massive red flag. And it's not surprising in the end that this camera never came to be. And as Philip Bloom said in his video, there is a lot more to a camera than just the image. If you guys like this video, be sure to check out our other abandoned camera videos, including this one about the most expensive digital cinema camera ever made, the Sony F35.
Yeah, you guys go check that that Sony F35 one out. All right, we're gonna open this up to question and answers one last time. We're gonna check in to see if our friend Alejandro Martin over here, who said he was gonna do an interview with us, is live. Alejandro, did you get the Fran 8K working for this? Yeah, I'm gonna say no. Okay, let's go ahead and move into move into question and answers here. Do you guys have any questions about the Fran 8K? Any of the updates, the questions, any of that kind of stuff? Let me know kind of what you guys are thinking. I'll answer as much as I can. Ugh. But man, I'm looking forward to the follow-up video. It's gonna be interesting trying to fight this. Yeah. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, that was one thing Philip Bloom and I were talking about in for the follow-up video, was the fact that why he even sent him the camera in the first place. I don't know. But the interesting thing is all the stipulations that he sent to a bunch of other people to review it, but he didn't give you any stipulations, is something we're talking about in the video. But it's it's gonna be fun. Coke or Pepsi? I don't know. I'm not really a Coke or Pepsi person. You guys should know this. I drink straight, this is all I drink. I drink white Monster Energy all the time. So no. How does the Fran compare to the new Airy 35? I think those skin tones though on the Fran though. I mean, I don't think Airy can even compete with those skin tones. I just gotta say. What's it like receiving emails from a weapons grade asshole? That is a good question. It's fun. It's fun until it gets to the point where the videos try to be taken down, and we went back and forth, probably like 12 emails. We'll be showing this in the video, the process of it, and the crazy fact that I literally have to wait till I get a copyright strike from YouTube to even be able to like fight this or put my own kind of spin on this. Is the Fran 8K just a meme at this point? I would say yes. Yeah, he did take a long time. This video's probably been up for 6 months. I tried to tell him when we were emailing back and forth that I would leave this alone. Just take the copyright strike off it. I'll do an interview with you, all that. But he said no. He didn't like it. Next question. Philip Bloom says that I've left the display of my Blackmagic on. I know. Did he send any other cameras to any other YouTubers? As far as I know, not at all. I would really love to find some more reviews. The only other person I know besides Philip Bloom that reviewed it was Red Shark. And we're going to be talking to them. They didn't do a video on it, but I've been trying to get in touch with them so we can do an interview with them. Get an interview with Jared at Red. Supposedly, someone in my community group decided they kind of know Jared and decided to share my Red Code Raw video with them, which I was like, thank you guys. You get involved in a lawsuit too. But no, actually would love to. We're talking about maybe doing we're going to reach out to them at some point and see if we could do a Rise of Red digital cinema camera. Talking about the way they changed digital cinema, and do a good take on them for once. The Fran STD skin tones would be a bit more itchy and red. I agree with you here. The green skin tones don't really match with the STD. And we didn't actually really ever see the STD, Fran. So Philip Bloom, that drink is disgusting. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead here. Would I say that the Fran 8K is the next camera Nolan will use for a movie? Absolutely. Look, Christopher Nolan is a big fan of the art of film and the traditional sense, and the Fran 8K brings everything to the table. It has, as they say, the largest sensor in the world, and I'm trying to remember some of the other fascinating things that they have. I know, he should. I was surprised he didn't keep it since they went bankrupt. Okay. Let's look at a few more questions here. How is he able to get the video down? Does it fall under it? It does fall under fair use, but the issue is anyone can go and fill up a form right now. I'm using content that they own or what. It's this really simple form and legal form that you have to send. They send it to YouTube, and it's a time, and then YouTube will review it and then take the video down. So we're kind of waiting to see whether or not YouTube's actually going to take that video down or not. That's kind of what's happening. But anyone, you guys could, don't do this because I'm already fighting this enough, and I'd rather, but anyone could just go say, oh, that video. And I legitimately have to wait until the copyright strike goes through on my channel, and then I can contend with it. So it's like trying to contend with it, which we're going to do. We're going to do a counter notification to it, is a problem in the first place, because it does put I do get a copyright strike, and I have to go to copyright school, which, I've been to school in a while. So, all right. What's some other questions before we just wrap this up and talk about a couple of different things here? If Alejandro Martin wants to reboot the Fran 8K, I will be one of the first people that signs up to review the camera. I will fly to Spain to see him and review the camera. I would. If he wants to reboot it, I would love to do it. right. Gear Seekers, does Philip Bloom know how to use a cable properly? It's a very good question, and one that Philip Bloom, do you know how to use a cable properly? Oh my gosh. Cables are so 1990s. Yes, they are. Would I like to do an interview with Jared Land? I would love to do an interview with Jared Land. If anyone who watches my content can set that up with me or get us in touch, I've been looking to do that. We're doing two different things. We're gonna do. I want to do a video like we normally do, but I want to do it about Red, and I want to give them a fair. Like I have always said, Red Digital Cinema changed the industry and pushed us all towards digital. There's things I don't like about them, but I mean, there's things I don't like about a lot of camera companies. So, but I would still love to talk to them and get that story about how it was at that early time trying to get this camera company off the ground where so many others failed. Would love to talk to them. And then we're also doing this is a long-term project. We're probably doing almost like a feature-length documentary on the rise of digital cinema cameras. And from the beginning, like early, all the different things that paved the way to get to where we are now in 2022, almost 2023. If I had to have any two camera companies merge their abandoned cameras, which cameras would I like to see merged? That's a great question. I would love, oh gosh, you see, I would love to take the body of the AJA Scion and combine it with the Aten Penelope Delta. If you could get that Aten Penelope Delta to work perfectly, that would be excellent. Because the camera sensor shake that like puts, it's a fascinating camera. That, or I would say maybe the Litro. Put the Litro in the AJA Scion's body. It's a good question. It's a great question. He probably would pick me up from Alejandro would. I would. Oh my gosh. Oh, if you got the beginning of this video, we had this long intro that basically was like you guys had to like go down this deep dark thing. We're hiding in a bunker until we figure it out. That's what the vest is about. We're just a little bit. Philip Bloom, I gotta say, Philip Bloom has some good comments. I very much enjoyed reading all of the comments between Facebook and the YouTube videos and stuff. It cracked me up so much. And here is my researcher and writer. Give it up for Chicken. He helps me out so much with videos, keeps me on track, helps me do all the hard research and stuff to make sure we're getting more and more stuff out. You definitely go check out his channel too. You honestly think the Fran 8K having mouse support is great. Yeah, quick matches between shoots. I agree. That is definitely the key feature is that you actually get a mouse with this camera. How do I think it got an STD? It's a very good question. And I think if maybe Alejandro will answer that. Alejandro, would you like to answer? How did the Fran STD get the STD? Oof. Well, no answer there. Let me see. Digital Bolex meets Iconoscope A-Cam. Yeah, but they're kind of the... I mean, okay, I'm not going to say they're the same camera because Joe Rubenstein will hit me a little bit. But, yeah. Imagine, being able to shoot your movie, then instantly edit. I mean, that's true. You could technically install the best video editor there is, Premiere Pro, on it and edit it on Windows on the camera. Thank you, Chicken. Everyone go watch Chicken's channel. He's making our content better. He's helping us get videos out faster and doing better research for him, which is just, it's so helpful. All right. I'm gonna answer just a couple more questions, and here we go. Let me see. Premiere Pro. Yes, I actually still use Premiere Pro. I know everyone is like jumping on the and it's weird because I'm a Blackmagic person, but I have so much stuff set up in it. It's just hard to change. But anyways, I think we're gonna come to a wrap here unless I see any more interesting questions in here. I appreciate you guys coming to do this fun watch through of this this crazy video, this crazy camera series I just kind of fell into. I kind of thought that this would be the first one to hit to get a copyright to get someone mad about it. I didn't expect the copyright strike based on fair use, but we're gonna find that out. But this one, I'm hoping we get to keep it. If not, we're going to do a follow-up video that will include everything, but we're going to be a little bit different about it. That way we can keep the same feel, but do it. But either way, we're going to have a follow-up video. I appreciate it. I know Philip Bloom's been in here. I appreciate Philip Bloom doing an interview with us. It was a great interview. Always great talking to someone who has tested out so many different cameras and has such a long history with I mean, even just helping launch the the digital Bolex. I don't remember. I don't know. I was forgetting that. Anyways, but yeah, we're gonna do a counter notification. Follow us in the community, in our community post on YouTube. Join our Discord. Join our Discord group. We talk about stuff all the time, and most of the time, they're the ones to find out about all this stuff first. But we're going to be fighting it. We'll keep you guys updated on what YouTube decides to do with the video, what our process is, our statement on the whole thing, when we decide to counter notify it, and whether or not we get sued, which I'm hoping we don't get sued. But in case we do get sued, if you guys want to go ahead, there's this little button right down here that is called Super Chat. And if you'd like to, because the ads haven't really paid for enough yet, if you guys want to like give a little super chat to this, that'd be great. Little funds for the war chest for the lawsuit that's impending. Yeah, definitely join the Discord, guys. That's gonna be about it. I really appreciate you guys all being here tonight to do this, and here, enjoy a little Happy Holidays Black Friday special from Fran 8K.